it is a game that I have played a lot of. This is the game that I've played most in the last month and a half. I was largely saving up for the next event because when they have an event, they have double quest rewards, which is insane. In the last one, they had double daily wins and extra chances in boxes. So they made the daily wins permanently doubled, and they made the boxes permanently better. But you still get double daily quests. But they did the doubling like 2 days ago. And you open these boxes with keys, key fragments, and I had been saving keys for a month. So I pulled a whole bunch of boxes because the event is Femmes Fatalis, Women of Defiance. You guys can see about that. They have some more details on their Discord. Their Discord community is fantastic. A lot of people talk and figure out strategies and stuff. So they do tournaments regularly. I participate in tournaments. Show you guys some of my last ones. So I made it to the semifinals in this one. I lost to Kronos. Kronos is a really good player. I've actually lost, I think, my last 2 tournaments to Kronos. I got second in this one. I lost to Kronos again. But in this one, I beat Auction Winner. So the 2 winningest players right now is Auction Winner, and Kronos is like second. Alright, so they play some pretty good decks. I might try some of their decks because I have a lot of cards right now. I think I won this one. Oh no, I got second to Auction Winner in that one. I won one yesterday though. There we go, I won this one. Okay. So I'm doing really well in tournaments. I am pretty good at this game, I think. And I have learned it to a level where I can teach you guys. So my collection is ridiculous now. And I have one big thing to thank, and it is these packs. So this is a new feature that they launched. The game, I think it is in like beta still. I don't know if it's like early access. I don't know the exact terminology. Exactly. I don't know exactly the terminology. But it's in like a pre-launch state. So they are developing the game at a very rapid pace. They have patch notes and stuff. Actually, do they have them in game? I don't think they have them in game now. But they post patch notes on their Discord. It's a really good idea to join their Discord community. I think it has a thing on the main thing. Yeah, he can't. It's under my camera. So if you use the Defiance link, you can use the Defiance command. It'll put a link in chat. That's the game. There's nothing to download. Actually, you can download the extra, like the better assets. You can download those if you want. But you can literally play in 1 second, and you can sign up with a Google account. Like you can literally be playing in 1 second if you want to try the game. It's a free game. It's better than free. You can't buy anything. It's not monetized. There's nothing you can buy. The way that you acquire cards are by playing, doing quests, doing dailies, which is why the doubling and stuff matter. It's why the tournaments matter, because they give you like things that you literally have to earn. You have to. So it's really cool in that regard. I'll show you guys the game in general. But yeah, one of the features that came out a couple of days ago. So 3 days ago, which I've been pretty busy the last 3 days. They had another big update, like a balance patch, which ruined my deck that I was winning plenty of tournaments with. And they had a whole bunch of other changes, and they introduced this event, and they had these card pack systems. Now, these card pack systems are really, really good. The odds look low, but they're not, because they rolled each card. So I don't know if I can show it without moving my camera. Okay, I can show you guys here. Let me see. Sorry, I have nowhere to put my camera in this game. So like this is a mythic chest. This is the best chest, and you should reroll for this one. So it contains one common, one uncommon, one rare, one epic, and then one random card, which is 66% chance for epic, 30% chance for legendary, 4% chance for mythic, right? So it's pretty good. Honestly, the main thing that you get out of these are epics, and if you're lucky, a legendary. These, however, these packs, they're rolled on each card. So it's 2% chance of legendary, but it's 5 cards. So each one of these is 10% chance of legendary. And if you go to the market, like I don't think these are actually selling for this much. Like I bought a legendary a few hours ago for 6K. I don't think these are selling for 20K. But like legendaries, like Grugol might sell for 20K. Like the really good ones, they sell for 20K. But the point is that those are really, really good. Now, they're not super good anymore for like investing in them because they have been invested. Okay, I have lots of stuff up. I have lots of bid up. I'm not going to tell you guys what I'm doing on the market exactly, but the rates of rare cards in these was extremely high. So I got a heads up from one of my friends, and he told me that the rates are really high. So I spent all of my saved gold, and I had over 20,000 gold, and I just drowned it to 0. And basically, I sold almost everything in them to buy more of them. And the result is a very nice collection. So we have pretty good flexibility to play whatever we want. There's still lots of things I'm looking for, but the ability to loosely play a variety of decks is on the table now. I will give you guys a tip. So if you want to search for a card, the best way to search for it is, in my opinion, like let's say that you want, I don't know, what should we go for? Something there's probably a lot of. God, I'm not good with names. Anyway, let's say you want a Celestial Epic card. Okay, so you go Celestial and you go Epic, and then you do Alphabetical. So like the Zealous guy, he's pretty good. You can see all of them here. These are all of them on the market. So you can kind of see how they're priced. It's otherwise a little bit difficult to like sort through this. One other sorting that a lot of people do is they do like the next one to end. I don't really like this. But yeah, so I'll give you guys that tip. I think that is pretty big in sorting through the market and figuring out. Also, a really big tip is, so I mostly do all my market stuff right before I start my stream, because when you post an auction, it's 24 hours, 48 hours, or 72 hours. So these are all multiples of 24. So there is often a lot of action when a listing ends. So you don't want to post at like 5 in the morning, even though that's when you degenerates are playing games. I know that, but you don't want it to end at 5 in the morning. You don't post at 5 in the morning because it'll end at 5 in the morning. If it ends at 5 in the morning, there's no bid war. You get wrecked. Don't post at 5 in the morning, okay? All right, those tips are free. The rest you have to figure it out. Okay, so I still have my main deck. This is the deck that, well, actually, I think I have the tab muted because I was on the market. There it is, music. Yes, music's very good. This is a pretty big game, by the way. I didn't know this, but they have a lot of developers. I think this game has a pretty real chance of taking off and hitting a lot of people. So the main deck that I played, I did change it slightly, but not that much. The main deck that I played on stream like 3 weeks ago or so, like I leveled up all the cards. That's typically not the deck that I play unless I want to like do like my daily quests or something like that. So you can also, when you play, you can play Classic, which uses the matchmaking. Yes, I am 5th in the world, but the real action happens in tournaments. Like some people don't even play their decks in ladder because they want to keep it secret for the tournaments. So like some tournaments have crazy rewards. Like this one here, if you're a serious player, you need to sign up to this. Because first place gets a legendary and second place gets a legendary. This is insane. It's very hard. Like a lot of people who play this game, even for weeks now, they don't even have a legendary. Yeah, so in tournaments is where all the action happens. People take it pretty seriously. There's starting to be like YouTube content on the game. I'm starting to like try to snipe people and see what kind of stuff they're running. Okay. Now, the tournaments, as of like a couple of weeks ago, they have this new system called the skill system. So it's a skill tournament. They're pretty much all skill tournaments. Sometimes there's not a skill tournament, but I haven't seen one in a while. So in a skill tournament, all players' cards levels are set to level 1. So in this game, you level the cards and you use honor, which is part of like the daily rewards. You can't trade honor. To level the cards and make them a little bit better, the maximum level is level 4. But you don't really need to do that if you don't want to. You can just play, you can complete your daily quests versus AI, first of all. You can do training. It works. I do that all the time, especially if I want to keep a deck secret. And you save a lot of gold. So I have a lot of honor, and I have a lot of gold. Well, I think I have like 8k tied up in the market right now, but yeah. Because I've leveled nothing in like a month, except I leveled Mecrodamus. So Mecrodamus is a card that they redesigned, and it has like an on-play, like a silence effect. In Defiance, a silence effect is called Frost Purge. This one is just on play. All the other Frost Purges, they happen on a 1-turn delay. So it's kind of difficult to actually get it off. Like for example, do we have the Blow Dart? We do. So like this one, this is Frost Purge. So it disables target foe or ally ability, deploys with 1 turn remaining. So that is a big downside because these things get killed. I'll show you guys the game in a second. Okay. I know some of you guys have been playing. I know a lot of you guys who play the game know about the game from my stream. But we'll do the quick tutorial for the people because we have a lot of new viewers. You play the game for points in regions, but the strategy and combos involved get really crazy. The deck that I've been working on lately is a YOLO discard deck. And I did not intend to play discard, but there's 2 things that happened. The most important thing, I got a mythic. Almost no people playing this game have any mythics. Mythics are obscenely rare. And as a result, they're really powerful. So this is the mythic that works with discards. I didn't have too many of the discard core, but it was ridiculously cheap. Because when I got this, I think it was 2 days ago, and it was after people basically figured out that they were buying these packs like crazy for gold. So the market was absolutely flooded. It was the absolute bottom of the market, and I basically picked up all the cards I needed for the deck, except for like a few. But it's mostly there. Let's do a game with my traditional deck. This is the Dragon Mage deck. I'm just going to play against AI just so I can take my time and explain everything. Yes, I opened the Mythic. 4% chance. Well, no. I opened 3 Mythic boxes, so 4% chance 3 times. So when a game starts, it looks like this. These are decks that you set. You have an opening hand of 5 cards, and you can mulligan 2 of them. Typically, you just mulligan stuff that you don't want right away. I actually kind of like this hand. This deck got a bit nerfed, so this can only be played if you play 2 spells this game. That is unfortunate. I still kind of want it. Let me see. Okay. So this deck is, I highlighted it a few times now. It's based on drawing most of it and playing spells with spell damage. And the spell damage cards do a lot of bonuses. Oh, you actually can't see it there very well. Let's see here. I didn't realize it was hidden. So they have a new mechanic. This is 2.5 days old. So you click this, and you can choose to draw any hero from your deck, your choice. Okay, and this has changed the game massively, in addition to the balance changes. So I can choose this guy. You can only do that once per game. And then I play him, he gives me my highest cost legendary, or sorry, hero. Each deck has 5 heroes. So you basically play for points. In the game, the terminology for like the points on a card is attack. Okay, so units have attack. They don't have health, but their health is their attack. And there are 4 regions. But there are restrictions to the regions. This is a ranged, so I put them in the ranged row. I don't have another range to show you guys. And then the melee. This is the melee row. This is the ranged row here. This is the melee row. The melee are called brawlers. And then these are the flank rows. So you can put any, there's no restriction on these, but there's 2 spots here, 5 here, and 6 in the back. Sometimes that actually makes a bit of a difference. And your goal is to have as many points after 10 turns as you can, and more than your opponent. I'll explain tactical points in a second here. So +5 attack when something is deployed to that row. Okay. So I can actually play nothing here, and that's perfectly fine. So when a turn begins, you get 3 card mana, like the unit mana, and you get 1 spell mana. These are the spells. So some units cost more than 3, and you effectively have to save up over multiple turns. Alright, let me see what I'm doing here. So the main deck here is built around this card, the Vicious Kluvern. It reduces the cooldown of an ally. It's one of those abilities that you click on. I'll show you guys in a second. I don't have one of those in play, so that effect does nothing. But he also has all your spells deal +4 damage, which is a huge amount. So I can play that, and now these go from dealing 4 to dealing 8. I think I want to kill this thing so it doesn't get +5. So we'll kill that. There's another aspect here, so I have 1 mana left over. Yeah, sometimes you have a lot of attack. These are high-level cards. The AI matches the level of the cards in your deck. You cannot outscale the AI with card levels, which is actually a pretty nice mechanic. So these are kind of the active points on the board, but you see +1. So if you hover over here, they used to display differently. There's tactical points. So you get a tactical point. I just got 2 tactical points. If you have more attack in one of the 4 areas. So I had more attack in the left flank and more attack in the ranged row. So I got 2 tactical points, and this is at the start of your turn. So there's a lot of back and forth with that. A big part of this deck has to do with wasted spell damage from your spells or abilities gives you that many tactical points. This is a new skin for Aethia, Chaos Aethia. If you log in right now, you get this card for free. It's part of the women's event. So I have 4 here. He's doing like flying. That's a celestial mechanic. I'll explain that in a second. I'm just trying to see what I will do, because if I don't spend 1, it is a little bit wasted. Playing this YOLO is a bad idea, but I'm just going to do it, whatever. This is a big part of my combo. I can res it. So if it dies, it's not the end of the world. Okay. So I need to play 2 spells in order to play this guy, which draws me cards. So we're going to do this. This does 4 damage to a foe and 2 to adjacent, but I have 4 spell damage there. So it won't kill the main guy, but it will overkill that one, and that will give me tactical points because I have Aethia in play. That is my second spell, so I can play this guy. I can actually use his ability. Yeah, can only be played if you have at least 2 spells played this game. And he has a card draw, which is particularly good. So this is a pretty interesting case where I can show you guys some of the mid-level strategies. So this, on deploy, deal 2 damage to a foe in the opposite row. I can play it here and kill that. Should I do that? No. Probably not. Because I already have more points than he does, so I deny him the tactical points for that row. And my mana does not go to waste. I'm at 3. When my turn begins, I'll go to 6. Being on 6 mana allows me to play better reactively to whatever my opponent does. So even though I can kill that, sometimes you really want to get specific things off the board, in which case you do play it. Like this. Look at that. That's exactly what I was saying. So now, because I didn't play this, this is a card I absolutely have to kill. And now I can kill it very easily because I saved it. And I still have 5. It was not wasted. So what I'm going to do is play another Kluver. And I do have an active ability, which I can produce by 2. And I have 2 spell mana. I can not play a spell. It's not really wasted, but I think I do want to play a spell. Normally these would be wasted, like huge spells on low attack units, but I have the overkill give me tactical points, so it doesn't really matter. I am going to hit this one, because if you silence a card, it resets it to its base state, so he could heal it with a silence. That's why I went for that one. This guy can only be played if I played 3 spells this game, but again, I'm already winning all the rows, so it doesn't really matter. A lot of the cards in this deck are very cheap or basic. Like the deck is actually built around the Warden Spark, and you create 1 damage spells every 3 turns. Everyone has this card. Like if you start playing, everyone has 1 copy of every basic card. Card acquisition is pretty slow, but you can trade for things, you can win them in tournaments, all that kind of stuff. But the basic set is actually really large. So you can play all 3 different factions and kind of see what you like more. So this is a basic card. I think it's a very good one. It's a 1 damage spell. If you level the card, it's 2. And if you have 8 spell damage, it's 10. So we do 10 to that and get 8 tactical points with Aethia. Okay. What do we do here? So if I pass, he has more points in the ranged row. So he will get a tactical point. It doesn't really matter because I'm winning by an enormous margin. But in the hand it's separated. See, this is the brawler symbol, this is the ranged symbol here. So these are the brawlers, the melee, this is the range, that's the spell. So I can play this because it's ranged, which would tie his score in the ranged row.
But you still have a lot
and I can play this, but I don't need to. That's good enough for me. I basically just deny him the tactical point for matching the score in the ranged row for the start of his turn. And now we can do some nice overkill damage. So we have crazy spell damage. Do I have a good res target? I do. So I can show you guys the res mechanic. The main deck that I was winning a good bit of the tournaments with before it got nerfed was based on chain resing and then massively buffing in a combo on the final turn. So Witch Doctor is one of the main cards that does that. So the way that it works, it interacts with your graveyard. And based on the cost, not the power, they changed it. That's why my old deck doesn't work anymore. You resurrect the card.
What can I get you?
This guy gets the highest cost hero from your deck, but I don't have any more heroes in my deck because the deck has a maximum of 5 heroes. So this is turn 10. I did go second. One thing that I really like doing on turn 10 is Warlord Zed. This is also a basic card. If you play the game, you have this card. On deploy, your opponent can't play spells their next turn. A lot of the time, spell combos dictate the outcome of a game on the final turn. So playing this into your opponent's final turn can completely and utterly screw them over. Overkill on that. Points there. And the AI auto-concedes on his turn 10 if he cannot beat you. Now, obviously this is not much of a challenge. I'm playing a refined deck that I have won tournaments with a few times. And the AI, he matches the levels of the cards in your deck in his deck. So there's not a level discrepancy. And it's actually possible to lose to the AI if you're a new player. It can happen. But yeah, if you're an experienced player playing a decent deck, it probably will not happen. So just a heads up with that. Alright, I will showcase the new deck. This is the deck that I have won in the last 3 days. I won 2 tournaments. I placed second place twice, and I got third place once. And those are all of my tournament results. So we've been more or less doing quite well. There are other... Did I do AI? Okay. There are other players who have slightly better tournament results in that time, but the number of players who have slightly better tournament results in that time is 2. So this is currently the 3rd best performing tournament deck in the game right now. The way that this deck works is by chain discarding multiple cards into another, which is normally a big downside, but Ephemeral has Sultan Totrarth. Draw a card for each card you've discarded this game. This is like a crazy hand refill. Now, this deck is largely possible because of the new draw a hero from your deck mechanic. Before that mechanic was in the game, it wasn't a bad deck, but it wasn't that good of a deck. Just mulliganing, I don't want 2 of those. So we have a pretty good showcase here. So the Chaos Caster gives you a spell to draw discard. And then I can hit my Mythic. I'll show you guys how that works. And the Mythic then discards into another card, and I can discard it into Boyfar, which deploys with 4 attack when discarded. Now, this deck is not going to look as impressive as the last one, because this deck is all level 1. And the reason I have so much gold, in part at least, and so much honor is because I don't level my tournament decks. I only have 1 deck leveled, and that's the very cost-efficient deck I first made when I played the game. So, yeah, it's good to have 1 deck that has some levels, but I wouldn't worry about levels too much. The way tournaments work, you don't need leveled up cards. I can play this, but I don't need to play this. This has an on-discard effect. So, again, sometimes passing turn 1, often passing turn 1 is a good idea. So I can show you guys the combo now. So the first thing that I'm going to do is draw the Mythic Hero from my deck. So it deploys with 4 attack when discarded, and on deploy you can discard a card to get 4 attack. Now, I could get Voliaro and then 50-50 draw into him, but this deck is all about tempo and savagely discarding my entire hand. So we're going to play the Fire Starter. I just got my 3rd one of these yesterday. Thank you, Tago. So she has a draw discard mechanic, and we're going to discard the guy that triggers on discard, who triggers a discard to buff himself. And we can do Boyfar, which is more stats, but it's actually better to do Sister Vastrali, which is less stats, but has on deploy destroy a foe with up to 2 attack. This is better because when cards are deployed from discard, they go in a random location.
Too late,
See?
boy.
So by using that, I denied tactical points in the Brawler row, and I still challenged the right row because he doesn't have anything there. At this point, because I have the Sultan in my opening hand, I was able to kind of search for this one. At this point, I'm trying to discard as many cards as possible. That's the only thing I'm trying to do. I think I will bounce that. That's Shatter Morale. It's a bounce, and it increases the cost of the card. It's incredibly strong, this meta. So I can play one of those to discard a Stinger, and I can play a Stinger to discard a Boyfar. Now, normally, this is a crazy amount of tempo, and it's recklessly deleting your hand. But because I have the hand refill, I don't really care. That's kind of the point of the deck, actually. Okay, so this costs 2, but I only have 1 card to discard, and that's the one I don't want to discard. So we're going to do nothing. So next turn, we can play this, discard whatever we draw. I don't even care what it is. And then we're going to play the Sultan to reload.
Payment up front.
This is actually a surprisingly strong card. We need to kill that. Oh no, he put it in the bad row. It doesn't matter. So normally I wouldn't want to discard this guy, but I am going to do that this time. There is some strategy with where you place your cards. So this is arranged, so I can put it in the ranged row or I can put it in the flank. So this deck has a disproportionately large number of melee units, the brawlers. So the brawlers can go in the sides. So typically I do want to put the brawlers in the sides. So that means ranged stuff goes in the ranged row, unless I want to challenge an empty row like I did 2 turns ago by playing the ranged unit there. So we play that, discard that, and then we play the Sultan to draw
Rally to me.
5.
Choose. Seems
Drawing 5 cards is not normal. That is an extremely potent thing to do. Okay, so this is a tempo deck. We're just going to ruin this guy again. Rip in peace. He did play a spell. Baron Hig is a hero that has a discard a card to get a copy of the last played spell by your opponent. This has literally won a tournament for me. So it's very nice of him. Let me see here. I think I'm just going to delete his units. So the AI in this game is playing Infernal. Infernal relies on sacrificing units to play bigger units. So if we deny smaller units, usually it's advantageous. I am going to play Baron Hig here, even though I don't really want the guy's spell. I just want a discard, because that has to go in the melee row, which denies him tactical points. And yeah, it set me up for playing this. So now we can do that. This is the draw discard. This guy's pretty cute. So you can deploy him and he has that re-discard effect. I will do that. We'll play him.
I will break them.
And then I'm actually going to discard the spell because there's no way I'm playing that. That would nuke my own board. This seems OP. I mean, this is literally the 3rd winningest deck in the game right now. And it's enabled by a card that... Like, you know how I said most people don't have a mythic card? Most people don't have a legendary card. I've never seen any other person with the mythic that I have. There's some chance that I might be the only one with it. I don't know. Probably not. But I haven't seen it. And I've played in a lot of tournaments. I have a res effect. So when you res, it does re-trigger the effects. I'm just trying to think how I can do this most efficiently. So I can discard a res. One new thing this patch is... So the most efficient probably is to play this guy, resing the artillery stinger, and then discarding anything. So if the board is full, it will not deploy a discard trigger like that.
Their minds are weak.
So that's my discard deck. Pretty cool. Alright. Now, one thing that I wanted to do today is try to recreate my Manora deck. So, I'll just quickly go over this. So there's 3 factions in the game. I'm over this. And there's Celestial. Celestials, Ephemeral, and Infernal. If you're curious which one is the best, in this very narrow moment in time, this very singular patch, if you have your choice of all the rarest cards in the game, which is good luck with that, it is Infernal. Infernal has won the most tournaments lately in the last 3 days. The patch is only 3 days ago. And the other guy that I think has the second best results, he's playing Celestial. And my discard deck is Ephemeral. So all 3 factions have pretty solid representation this meta. And that is usually the case. That's usually the case. So you can play whatever you want, is the answer. A quick overview, Celestials. Celestials swarm the board. Their units have very good stats. And they have a fly mechanic. Every 4 turns, your units fly if they're Celestial. So if you have like a neutral, it won't fly. Fly gives it 1 temporary attack. Why would that matter? Because if you fly on the last turn, that's your final score. So if you fly on the last turn, which is part of the strategy, you can get a massive amount of points. Flying also makes a flying unit untargetable by your opponent, which is their main thing. It allows you to play units that are extremely overpowered, that are basically must-kill units by your opponent. But if you play them on the turn that you're flying, they are untargetable, making them far harder and in some cases completely impossible to kill based on what your opponent has. So that's kind of... But their typical thing and the basic deck is kind of like swarming the board. Small units, but they also have efficient stats. They're not stuck on small units. Celestials are, for as long as I've been playing the game, very good. Ephemerals are based on spells, but the funny thing about that is my ephemeral deck, which is the winningest ephemeral deck so far, has no ephemeral spells. I only have 3 spells in the deck, and they are neutral. Ephemeral spells generally have to do with dealing large amounts of direct damage. And the reason why I don't use those is because most people in tournaments are playing Infernals, and they have extremely large stats to where it's really difficult to actually, at the tournament level, kill the units you want to kill with spell damage. So, but yes, Ephemeral, again, much like the other factions, they have multiple ways that you play them. The playing and mastering and being creative with the cards that you have and the potential combos in the game, they're wild. It's really impressive what you can do, which I think is why people that try the game often end up sticking with it. I don't believe it's AI art. They have a lot of developers on this game. So Ephemeral has a lot of the spell synergy. They have ways where you buff the amount of spell damage you do to just kill big things and efficiently. That's kind of how my first deck was structured. They have the mechanic with the discard for powerful effects, which is my other deck. They have mechanics where you can... they're the most combo potent faction, I would say. Like, the craziest stuff typically happens with Ephemeral. Right now it's Infernal, but typically it's been Ephemeral. And they have a lot of units that either get buffed when you play them based on how many spells you have in your hand, or gain a buff when you play a spell. So basically, kind of like managing an inventory of spells allows you to stack stats on units. Infernal, they have probably the most powerful singular units, but these units often have a sacrifice mechanic, where if you play it, you have to like kill off one of your guys, or 2 of your guys, or in some cases 3 of your guys. And this is a bit tricky, because the main downside of Infernal is they have, get ready for this, 0 card draw. Nothing. There is not a single Infernal card that draws you another card. So they have the most powerful units, but it's very difficult to get a consistent strategy. It's more like kind of like play on the fly. You can use the card draw units that are part of the factionless set, like the neutral card draw, but the neutral cards typically are pretty low power except their heroes. If you're curious, the best deck in the game has to do with chain reviving a specific hero. I'll show you guys. Chain reviving this guy. So if slain, give all your heroes +5 attack wherever they are. Reynald. Yep, this game has a Reynald. So the way that it's played, it's largely enabled because of the new mechanic of searching for a hero that you want once per game. They basically search for this guy, or they search for another guy that draws your most expensive hero, and then it constantly chains as you kill this guy with your own consume effects. So you keep the stats. He goes to the graveyard, you res him, you consume him again, you res him, you consume him again, you res him. It's an extremely complicated deck, and the people that have mastered this deck are winning the majority of the tournaments, but the majority is like 50%. It's not like 80%. So there's hope. There's hope for the other factions. I can see them nerfing this, and they do change cards pretty regularly, so be aware of that. Alright, so in the previous patch, I was playing an ephemeral deck that was a combo deck, and it was an insane combo deck. I do have an upload from my last play session with this, and I believe the official Defiance channel did post one of my tournament runs as well, and it had to do with Manora. So Manora is a 6-cost unit on attack buff. All other allies on the row gain +3 attack. This card was put into the game, I think, on the Valentine's event, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a pretty new card they added to the game. And the way that the deck played is 80% of the deck was card draw. And then on the final turn, so you play partial discard, partial card draw. You discard her with your discard effects, and then you res her on the final turn, and you get like actually over 200 points. My record is 220 points with that deck. Only on the final turn. It's a pure combo deck. It's really tricky to play. But they changed how res units work. So Ruma is a factionless res unit, very popular. So on deploy, revive an ally that costs up to 4 action points. Last patch, 3 days ago, this was 4 attack. So I have been wrecked. Okay. Basically, Manora is no longer resable in any way, shape, or form. So they basically killed the best deck in the game with changing the revive mechanic. But to be fair, I told them to do this. And they're like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So yeah, if you want to participate in the ideas of developing of Defiance, go join their Discord, I guess. So this is definitely my fault, but there are only 2 players that were really crushing tournaments with this deck, and I was one of them. So I'm sorry, auction winner. But yes, this has caused a few new problems, but I do think this is the better way to do these things with the res mechanic, because the res mechanic is really powerful. Yesterday, I realized that there are other cards like Manora. I think it's called Academy something. Academy Scientist. So he has the same effect as Manora. Oh, he costs 5. Oh. Okay. Okay, I have to show you guys something. A pretty important resource is the Defiance Wiki. So the reason this is important is we can search Academy Scientist. Okay, and it shows you all the level breakpoints. Now again, you don't have to level the cards if you don't want to, like if you're playing tournaments. But a card like Ruma, oh, she reses up to 4 action points. What about, I think the Witch Doctor goes to 5. Does the Witch, I believe it does. Oh, the Witch Doctor is always 5. Okay, alright, so it doesn't matter. Okay. In the previous patch, this number went up with levels, but now it's 5 at every level. Okay, so the Academy Scientist will work. So it'll work. Yes, and he's a brawler. Excellent. Okay. Okay, this deck will work. This deck will work. We're going to try to revive the Manora res deck. So in the Manora res deck, I ran 2 Manoras, so we're going to try running 2 of those. We're going to play Witch Doctors to res them. So we have to use the Witch Doctors to res them, huh? Okay. Because before I ran Rumas as well, but Ruma caps at 4. But Ruma can res a Witch Doctor, which can res another Witch Doctor, which can res the Academy Scientist. Okay. And I also used... Where is it here? I used Malia Bird Eye to combo with the res the previous patch. But another thing that they changed with the res mechanic 3 days ago is they are restricted based on their typing. Before, if you resed a ranged unit, you could res it into the melee row. You can't do that anymore. You have to res it into its like appropriate row. So comboing with Malia Bird Eye is not going to be quite as good. It's still decent. One card I was thinking of is this. Oh, it's also ranged. I thought it was melee. I guess he has a bow. So it has an on-discard effect. Deploys with 1 attack when discarded. On deploy, give +1 attack to an ally. Let's try one of those. I wonder if it'll be a dead card otherwise. Let's try 2 of those. I played this deck a lot before, so I'm kind of accustomed to how it worked. Let's put the low lives in. I sniped a... Where is she? Chaos Caster. Do I have to restart? It's lagging a little bit. There is a little bit of performance thing. People say to use Firefox. I probably should use Firefox. There she is. Shalm Firestarter. I picked one up while streaming Bazaar, actually. And I have to use spells because both the Witch Doctor and the Low Life Underhand can only be played if you've played at least 2 spells. The question is, what spells do I want to play? I mean, we run all the Chaos Casters. If we have 6 Chaos Casters, will that work? Cauldron Master. On attack buff, buff all other allies. Okay, so sorry, there is a mechanical thing here. So when it says on attack buff, this will not chain trigger, I don't think. Actually, will it? Manora, if you had 2 Manoras in the same row, they didn't infinitely trigger before. I think the channeler mechanic cannot trigger another channeler mechanic. So I think that's, yeah. So I think that's the issue with that. So, oh, whoops, we definitely don't want to put that in. Might have to restart here in a second though. Okay. I did play catapults. I had 2 catapults in my previous deck, just to get some stuff discarded. And I also was playing 2 mad ones. 3 mad ones is a little bit greedy. I should get some kind of spells. Should I just use bolts? Oh, we need power. In my last deck I ran Blizzard, but I don't know if it's a good idea. Maybe a couple Blizzards. The last time I played this deck, I only had 1 fire starter. So now I'm playing 3 fire starters and 3 of those. It is a little bit different. Okay, I have like no heroes in there now. So one of the best heroes in the game, Voliaro. We're just going to use him to draw our higher cost hero. I only had 3 heroes last time I played this deck. Corina is ranged. She won't work well in the combo. I think we can use Sultan. It's a combo deck, so we really only want stuff that actually works in the combo. Honestly, maybe we put Forge Master just to chain discard, and that's it. Voyalaro, Forge Master, and discard. You can run 5, but because it's a combo deck, we don't really need to do 5. I don't know if this will work. Maybe I run like 1 Ruma. Maybe 1 Ruma. Okay. Manora combo 2. Okay. Will this work? That is a good question. The tournaments are official tournaments. They set the rewards. Some of the rewards are completely crazy, and you should participate in them if you think you have a chance of winning, and you often have a pretty decent chance of winning. With this deck, before it got nerfed like crazy, I actually lost in a final to a basic deck. Probably best I didn't mention that, but I'm just, you know, just to spur you guys up with some interest. To be fair, I was playing a combo deck, and to be fair, I did draw super badly. But yes, that can happen. Someone with a basic deck won a fairly big tournament in this game. I like the full discard package that I have. I'm actually going to keep this. Because I have the Sultan already, I'm going to play pretty aggressively here. So I'm just going to pull the Forge Master. I'm going to play this guy. He's a brawler. And the Forge Master is ranged, so they cannot deploy in the same row.
I am the hammer.
Okay, and I'm going to discard my last hero because he literally doesn't draw a hero. I don't have any heroes left in the deck. Now this deck is a mix of high level and low level cards. Blade Master. Wow, 6 cost, on deployed, discard for +6, deal 2 damage at the end of turn. That is going to be a problem. I think on this turn we save up for a fire starter next turn. I have been playing this game. I've done every single daily, and I've participated in about 50% of the tournaments for... Well, no, I've done every single daily for like 6 weeks. I've started doing tournaments in the last like 3 weeks, and I've done about half the tournaments that I've been able to enter. And yes, this is sponsored, but I do really enjoy this game. My sponsorship is on a case-by-case basis, so... like the last time we did a promo was like 2 weeks ago. I have played the game min-max throughout that 2 weeks without any deal in the meantime. So you can take from that whatever you will. I actually don't know what to discard. The Witch Doctor can pull the Chaos Caster. The Chaos Caster is the draw discard. I'm going to time out pretty soon. I think I will do that. I don't think I've played sufficient spells. But I think I'm just going to nuke him there. Yeah, it's only 6. Because I don't want to lose the spell mana.
I will feed you to the fish.
I mean, look, if you guys go on the Discord, you can see my message history. You can see how active I am in the game.
You won't even hear my steps.
And no, they have not asked me to do that. So I only have 3 Witch Doctors, and I need one to combo in the end. I don't really think I want to discard a Firestarter. God, I hope this works. This might not work. We might lose to the AI in the most embarrassing fashion, because that Blade Master is a real problem. Okay, well we have all 3 Firestarters. It will be a little bit too difficult to play all of them, I believe. So let's just play another one. You might be thinking, I don't want to play it here because this guy has an end of turn ping ability. I don't want to lose my units. And I don't want to play it here because he might have brawler units that can kill them. In the flanks, they are a little bit more vulnerable. I'm really agonizing how to navigate this right now. The Blade Master is hard to deal with because he has an end of turn ability. He deals 2 damage to a random foe on the opposite row at end of turn, and my deck has pretty much no removal. So he just kind of sliced up whatever was in that row. This is a pretty decent card normally. Oh, I just timed out, but that's okay.
I'll gladly give my life for my family.
It's not like most OP unit in the game, but you know, sometimes the right unit in the right spot is very powerful. Okay, so he made this cost 6. That card is completely useless now. I also need to discard this. Okay, let's do that. Because I need that guy in the graveyard for me to combo better. So we'll draw, discard. And then, do I play this? I still need a Sultan. I will do that, just to clear out my hand so I can draw more. This is for the final combo.
Time for a big bang.
Just a fair warning, I will probably have to play the final turn very quickly, because the turn timers for combo decks are actually pretty aggressive. So I'm gonna Sultan next turn.
Time to serve myself.
I'm losing pretty badly right now, but that's how it works with combo decks. That's not it's not too unusual. My main concern Eight, 4, 4, 6. Oh man, this is not good. I have to play him this turn. I need to play a card from my hand, which I did not. That one, will that work? It can. It can work. No, okay, it's better that I don't. So I play it next turn. I'm gonna block a card draw here. This is advanced, guys, advanced, okay? So we're blocking a card draw.
You won't even hear my steps.
And we're going to block another card draw. Okay. And next turn is turn 10. And we're going to set the combo. So we have 6. Okay. So we play this guy. We res the guy that we want to buff.
Just a little more. Come on, work.
And now I have freed up my hand a little bit.
Be my eyes.
So now I can play that. And then I can discard that to buff him.
Will make a perfect trophy.
And then I can buff him again with that. And then I can buff him again with that. And then I can buff him again with that. And then we can do a card draw there. And then we can draw, discard, activate on discard, buff with that.
Trophy.
It's pure art, guys. It's pure art. Absolutely perfectly executed. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was something. I'm proud of myself on that one. Okay. We did not have much turn timer left. The point total was not as big as I would have hoped. A little bit of a downside. I know those are level 1 cards. The real difference is that the Brawler row has a maximum of 5 units, while the Ranged row has a maximum of 6 units. Having the extra unit receiving all of those buffs is a really big difference. Did I waste mana 2 to 3 turns to achieve that? So I needed to save mana for my final turn. Yes. We can try another one, see the consistency of it. Okay. This is a spell, and that's a spell, and this guy requires 2 spells to be played, so that's fine. This is a combo piece. We don't want to draw that until later. That's fine. Is it ideal? You know what? I think it is. I think it is ideal, yes. Okay, so turn 1. We can play this Chaos Caster because it costs 3. And I will not play that. I don't have anything good to discard, so it's best to not play those. There are graveyard hate cards, but there's only like, let's say 2 right now. The answer is no, there's not really graveyard hate cards. Am I okay destroying the catapult? Yes, if I have to. I don't think we need mad ones. I think it's too expensive for card draw in this hand anyway. Oh, I should have discarded the guy. Oh, that's a misplay. This guy has that Frost Purge silence effect. We do not want that. I misplayed because I should have discarded him, which triggers the following discard, but that's okay. So this is a Brawler. I can play him in those, but I don't care about the tactical points in this. I just don't care.
I will feed you to the fish.
I should probably drop Volyaro. I don't think it makes sense to run him. So here we can challenge the ranged row. Draw discard. So we'll discard this guy, which gets played, and then it chains another discard, and then we're going to click this, because this needs to be in my graveyard for me to combo better on the final turn. Okay.
Who goes there?
3 damage. It's kind of weak. I think we will just keep going with draw. There's no reason to pull the Sultan out of the deck. You know what? Let's do a draw discard. I think I will nuke the mad one again. One really big like skill check for this deck is not blocking your hand with too much card draw. I don't think it's efficient to play Volyaru. And we can just pull the guy. I think we just keep draw discarding right now. I'm okay to lose him. If he can kill him, then fine. So I can keep the Witch Doctor. I think I am going to keep the Witch Doctor. Wait, I might be able to combo now. Okay, let's get rid of the high cost cards.
Steady now.
The danger of comboing in the middle of the game is that your opponent can interact with them. Comboing on the last turn, there's less interaction, of course. It's kind of wild. Do I want to play that? That is actually a question. I think I do. Nuke that guy. One thing I don't have are that many power cards. I also kind of want to save a draw discard so I can combo with the Ambusher. Turn 7. Okay, so we have 2 here. I think we might not need Sultan at all. Let's get rid of the Ruma. And for this one, I'm going to use it and not play it. And I just need to... So right now I have 4 mana. I just kind of want to empty my hand. I want fewer things in my hand right now. And I'm not playing this because I want to combo it with that.
Fire will cleanse you.
2 damage. Where's it going? Fair enough. Now, normally a player will not let you draw this much. Honestly, I can combo here.
Who? Huh? Who? Huh? Who? Huh?
Res into res. Into res. Oh, I could have done Ruma in the middle. Misplay. Into the guy that buffs the row.
Come on, work.
Buff the row. Buff the row. And this is the draw discard that I saved. So I can trigger specifically there. And I am going to do this one also. Okay. It's a partial combo, but yeah, see, if you do it in not turn 10, your opponent can Frost Purge. You can remove some of the effects. Now, the downside of leaving it in the last turn is that you might get completely wrecked from other effects. Now, I only have 5 cards left in my deck, so I actually don't need Sultan right now. I believe you just draw a card, yes.
Fly.
So we're gonna do this. Discard.
Your ears will make a perfect
buff.
trophy.
Draw discard. I'm gonna discard the Sultan, there's no point to ever play him. And 1 more power. Okay. Final turn. If you're curious, it is possible to draw your entire deck during a game. This deck does it regularly. Now, it just doesn't let you draw, I'd think. Oh, let's use the cooldown. Cool. I didn't know that. We're just killing the biggest thing. And playing stats. Okay, I think the deck is actually pretty good. I might try something similar in a tournament. I think there is a tournament a little bit later today. 2.5 hours. That's about the time I go to sleep, but there you go. If you want to play me in the tournament, I'll be playing. Thank you. Oh yeah, auctions. 40 minutes. Okay, we're good. 40 minutes. So that's Defiance, guys. If you guys are hardcore card game enjoyers, I think you don't want to miss this one. So, do what you want with that information. Thank you guys for watching.